Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. So this is going to be my trailer breakdown for episode 10, otherwise known as a mid-season premiere for this season, otherwise entitled Shattered Lives. But of course, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch that trailer.
Game time, rookie. You ready? This is the best lead we've had on finding out who's under that hood.
Their mystery man is actually a woman.
Wow, really? If Oliver Queen knew anything, is that you can't save the city alone.
I'm not Oliver Queen.
Arrow. New episodes return Monday, January 21st on the CW.
So, interesting trailer, but obviously last episode, excluding the crossover because that was, separate. So, episode 8, we had the big unveiling of who this new and fake or copycat or like mysterious Green Arrow was. And it is another child of Robert Queen, that being a daughter, that being a name that hasn't been said on the show yet, but it is Emiko Queen. Like, if you are even half familiar with Green Arrow comics of recent, you would know that this is Emiko Queen, and we'll talk about, her naming and stuff like that and its history with the show throughout this trailer breakdown. And also in last episode, we had Oliver working with the SCPD, no hood, no mask, which once again caused some issues with the crossover because Barry as Oliver was wearing a hood and a mask, and he was, I guess, still working with the SCPD and with Argus. There's some confusion there, but in Arrow, without Oliver Queen, played by Stephen Amell, no hood, no mask, working with the SCPD, and everyone knows that he's the Green Arrow. Now, there is no synopsis for this episode or description. We could get it soon, whether it's a week from now, a day from now, an hour from now. Could come out anytime soon, but for now, when we're doing this trailer breakdown, there isn't one. But of course, let me know in the comment section down below what from this trailer for this episode gets you excited, what you're looking forward to the most. Just let me know all of your general opinions down there in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like, especially if you're hyped for Arrow's return. And speaking of Arrow's return, as you would have seen in the trailer, it's back January 21st. So a bit of a wait, not a massive wait, but still a bit of a wait, just over a month. So a bit annoying, but what are you going to do? Flash is back the week before on the 15th, and then we have Supergirl and Arrow coming back on the 20th and the 21st. So there are your dates. Put them down in your calendars, set the reminders, because there's the dates, I guess. But we started the trailer by seeing Oliver working with the Star City Police Department like we saw at the end of last episode, like I was saying. And he seems to be just free to tag along to like crime scenes and all of that, with Dino like even referring to him as rookie. So I'm guessing there's going to be some banter between the two there. I'm guessing, this is my prediction as well, I think Oliver might touch some things that he's not meant to be. The crime scene, everything is evidence, so you got to sort of be careful as to what you touch, otherwise you put your, fingerprints or your own DNA onto certain things. So I can see Oliver touching something. It's, it could even be similar to that, that episode in The Flash season 1 when Barry goes to his own crime scene and walks all the way through and just doesn't realize what he's doing. It could be similar to that, but with Oliver just like tampering evidence unintentionally. So there could be some comedic stuff here. But in regards to Oliver, tagging along and working with the SCPD and all of that, let me know what you think of that in the comments section down below, because I asked about everyone's opinions for that, like sort of, in my review for episode 8. And overall, like just me, like, from glancing at the comments and just talking to a couple of people in that, thread and stuff like that, it's seen people were like roughly 50-50 on Oliver's situation now. So like half of the people are like, yeah, I'm all for it, let's go with it. And 50 were either like hated it or just sort of like weren't the biggest fans of it. It was like 50-50 on the good and bad side. Now for me, I know people hate when I do this, but it's just, I like to do it just to see how things play out. I don't like to judge things too early. I am on the fence in this situation. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I just want to see how it plays out before I judge it, because I don't like to judge things too early. You guys know that. But yeah, like I see the positives that come with it, but I also see the negatives. So I just want to see which one outweighs the other. Will the negatives outweigh the positive, or will the positives outweigh the negative? Have to wait and see, but it allows Oliver, I guess, to just do things freely and not be scared of being caught, especially with what's going on. There should be some protection around everything and like that, and he might get information directly rather than having to hack it from Felicity and all that. So that's some of the positives, and I guess some of the negatives is that, well, he probably isn't going to be as badass, I guess, as he once was, but I don't know. I have to wait and see if that actually, remains the case. Now, obviously, we as the audience know who the copycat slash fake slash new Green Arrow is on the show because we saw it in the last episode. It's Robert Queen's daughter. But no one on the show, like the characters there, know that. Like until this episode, at least by the looks of it. And that is in two different areas. The first one being that it looks like she leaves some blood behind on a piece of glass. So it's time for some DNA testing. You know what that means? Cue the CSI theme song. But we'll jump into that DNA testing later on because, there's a scene of it. But we'll come back to this stuff with Dinah and Oliver. When Oliver walks in, everyone is just staring at him. Now, we had that at the end of last episode with that overreaction from this officer on the left. I'll show it right here. I don't know if anyone else caught this. Pretty funny. But I do wonder how long that will go on until, they stop staring at him. Especially seeing that they would be around him a decent amount if he is essentially joining the Star City Police Department as like a consultant or like a part-time employee. So if they're doing that every single time he walks in, it's going to start getting annoying because just like, yes, it's a celebrity. It's a person who's like, oh crap, he's here. But eventually you'd get over it. So hopefully it only happens for a couple of episodes before everyone's like, okay, it's that dude again. When's he going to leave? It's, that's more of the reaction than like, oh my God, look who it is. So hopefully that doesn't last too long. But Oliver tagging along actually sort of helps Dinah in present day with her story because her storyline this season is sort of a meh in regards to present day. But with Oliver now attached to her, or is it maybe it should be like her attached to Oliver and his storyline, we could dive into some stuff that possibly connects into the future storyline, which is the area in the show this season where Dinah has been very interesting. While in present day, you would have to say she has been a bit up and down, and the only thing that's really, I think, captivating people in present day with Dinah is stuff that connects to the future stuff, like her neck being slit and stuff like that, and her throat being cut with no powers. I think a lot of people are waiting until that happens. It almost reminds me of like the big, what was that movie? Hot Tub Time Machine. Remember the guy who loses his arm, or he doesn't have an arm in the future, and then in the past they're waiting for him to lose his arm. That's basically what Dinah is this season in the present day. Everyone's just waiting for her throat to be cut until she loses her powers. It's like, is she going to lose it now? Is she going to lose it now? And just, it's not happening. So, might have to wait till later on in the season to see it actually happen. But that's sort of like Dinah in present day before Oliver gets detached. So now that Oliver is now attached, there might be some other stuff that plays out rather than basically the whole hot tub time machine waiting for the injury to happen scenario. Now back to that bit of blood on that bit of glass, we see Felicity testing the blood for DNA and actually finding out that the blood belongs to a female. So I guess the big question around this is if they will be able to trace it back to the new Green Arrow of Emiko Queen. Or if due to a history where she supposedly has, possibly been in the shadows and, well, almost like out of existence, who knows where she has been all these years, there would be no records to connect her to this sample of blood. Only thing that could ring alarm bells and go ding 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 is if somehow they connected to a sample of Oliver's DNA, as there would obviously be some connections there due to Oliver and Emiko having the same father. So there could be some surprises in store for Oliver this week in regards to that. Now just quickly on the episode title, that entitled Shattered Lives, as we said before, this episode was actually originally called My Name is Emiko Queen, which was how we all learned the identity of this new Green Arrow early. Obviously, spoiler TV accidentally, I don't know if it was accidentally or they just did it and just to, stir some crap, to be completely honest. But they leaked it. I don't know if they were meant to, but they got the episode titles and they leaked it. And that's how everyone knew that Emiko was the new Green Arrow. This episode will most likely follow her life as the new Green Arrow, but it looks of it, it'd be really cool if the opening was her speaking like the whole, I was this, and I became the Green Arrow, blah, blah, blah. My name is Emiko Queen, if they want to do that. But yeah, that is essentially where we jump into some stuff regarding her in this trailer, where we see her taking down these two dudes here. I'm going to assume she takes them down with ease as well, like water off a duck's back, essentially, this fight will most likely be. Now, we do see her in her base. Where does everyone think this is? I'm guessing it's probably another Queen family, owned property that has been left abandoned, similar to Oliver in season 1, with was it the steel mill or something like that? So I'm guessing that's what it is. There's even lockers in the background where workers would have put their stuff and all of that. So I'm guessing there's areas where she would have trained as well. We haven't seen too much of it. But I'm going to guess it's an abandoned Queen property of some sort, but we'll have to wait and find out if they even explain it. Now, the second example of Emiko being found out as the new Green Arrow is when we see her meeting with Renee, or Wild Dog. Now, there is a shot in a sneak peek thing that was attached to like the end of the Elseworlds finale the other day that showed Renee running into Emiko as this new Green Arrow in what appeared to be the same area she was having that fight with those two dudes. So maybe, you know, Emiko trusts Renee enough by now because he's been like the constant throughout the season in regards to interacting with her that she's like, yo, I'll reveal my identity to him. Or maybe Renee tells her that they have her blood or something like that. So she's like, crap, I'm going to have to like sort of like team up with this dude or like work with him to maybe either, you know, die down some stuff there in regards to connections, or maybe even just to get some inside info as to what Oliver and the others are doing. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, in regards to that. But we do have Renee telling her that she can't save the city alone. That's something that Oliver Queen would know. Now, I did see some people suggesting that like this is like evidence that Emiko told Renee exactly who she is. I don't think that is the case. I'm pretty sure this is just more around the fact that she is suited up as the Green Arrow, Oliver was the Green Arrow, and that's why Renee's saying this. Now, she tells Renee she isn't Oliver Queen. Well, duh, we can see that. But that does suggest that she doesn't sort of want a team or like partner up at all. But once again, thanks to that Elseworlds finale sneak peek, we actually do see Emiko as the Green Arrow and Renee dressed up as the classic Wild Dog like we saw earlier this season, teamed up. And I don't know what they're doing. They're probably just infiltrating something. Maybe Oliver's there as the unmasked version of the Green Arrow with the SCPD as well. That'd be interesting if they conflict there. Now, a question that a lot of people have is like, how long until Oliver finds out about Emiko? Is it going to be this episode? My prediction would possibly be episode 150 for Arrow, which is episode 12, which is otherwise entitled Emerald Archer. And I think that'd just be a suitable episode for everything to unfold. And it would also give a couple or a few episodes to develop Emiko as this Green Arrow, just as a character in general, outside of that relationship with Oliver and the history of their family and stuff like that. And just with Renee and maybe even some other people. So we'd have episode 10, episode 11, and then it's all revealed in episode 12. So episode 10 and 11 are just some stuff with Emiko. She can just have her own sort of development there. And then episode 12 is when they have a big reveal with Oliver and Emiko. I think that'd be a good way to play it out. Who knows if it will last that long? They might reveal it earlier, but if it was up to me, that's when I would do it. Now, one more thing from that Elseworlds finale sneak peek thing is that we had Diaz in his Argus inmate attire, like the Suicide Squad back in, season 2 and 3. And what Diaz says is, you must be really desperate. And obviously they must be to go to him. But of course, Diggle and Lila need his help with the whole like Dante mystery that I'm sure we will see all come together this season. I'm interested to see how much Diaz knows about it. I have had seen some people saying that Diaz is Dante, which I highly doubt is the case. Whether this is Ninth Circle stuff, which it definitely is hinting at, especially with introductions of certain characters this season. It is hinting at Ninth Circle, but who knows what road they're going to go down. Like, where's Stanley? When's Stanley going to come back into this, into the fold of this season? That'll be interesting, but I'm intrigued with the whole Dante thing. I don't think I'm captivated yet. I'm obviously captivated by like the Emiko and the future stuff, but I think the Dante stuff is definitely slowly, climbing the ladder in regards to things that are gripping my interest. So hopefully in the next couple of episodes, it starts to grip me a bit more. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over in this video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.